Alright, hi guys, and welcome to day 39. And today we're going to be talking about restlessness. Today's topic is the gift of restlessness. And so, restlessness is this feeling that does not allow people to rest, like the name suggests, right? And sometimes it can be misinterpreted for anxiety or overthinking or ingratitude, right? But that's not it, right? Restlessness is that feeling that comes after an achievement or after a routine or after an applause, right? And what it does is to just simply whisper consistently that this is not all, that there is more to this. So restlessness is the tension between your present reality and your perceived possibility, right? So it's like a friction between who you are now and who you could be. And it's not a passive friction, it's an active friction in that it speaks, it draws, it does something that draws those two components together, who you are now and who you are yet to become or who you become. So it keeps drawing it together, keeps making sure that there's some sort of synergy, there's some sort of connection, and that connection, that gap is closing in, right? So that's what restlessness does. So where does restlessness come from? We're going to be looking at about like 3 or 4 sources of restlessness. So the first one is unexpressed potential. Perhaps you happen to be in an environment that does not stretch you, or you happen to be in a place that everything is just like a routine. You keep doing the same thing over and over again, no change, nothing that challenges you, nothing that stretches you, right? What happens is that your potential is suppressed, right? So there's something that wants to find the expression, but because the environment that you are, right, this environment may include physical, mental, or people around you, the environment that you are, don't give allowance for the expression of this potential, right? Instead, it does the opposite. It suppresses it with routine upon routine. It suppresses it with rules that do not allow for creativity. So once you're in that state, right, where there's something you want to do or that you're desiring to do or that wants to find expression through you, but your environment is just very not conducive, so that for that you begin to feel this restlessness, right? It's just like a signal, like your mind is trying to signal you that there's more to you than this thing that you do. There's more that wants to be expressed, right? So it makes you uncomfortable. It makes you want to go to a better place where you can better express yourself. The second one is misalignment. Sometimes restlessness also signals misalignment, right? This is not about ambition now, what you want to do, or what you want, or what you don't want to do, or what you can or cannot do, right? It's about, this thing that you're doing, this thing that you want to do, does it align with your values? Does it align with your standards or your beliefs, right? So once there's that misalignment, restlessness begins to occur, right? Because it's trying to signal that something is wrong here, something has gone out of alignment, and this type of restlessness is mostly existential, right? That is like it can even affect like your identity, all right? It's taken to some extreme. So it's like, right, you're not comfortable with what you're doing because somewhere, somehow, you know that this thing does not align, this is not compatible with who you are, what you believe, your standards. The third one is comparison and overstimulation. This is gotten majorly, one of the major propagator of this is social media, right? So everybody posts their wins on social media, posts their achievements, successes, right? Very few people post the process or post how many times they've been rejected or failed before that, right? So you come on social media, regardless of whatever social media, like come on, right? And you see people achieving this, doing this, their pictures and all of that, and your mind, you're like, God will, you start comparing yourself with them. You begin to have this restlessness feeling, right? But this one is more in a negative way because it's like you're being oppressed to do something. What you're doing is not coming from an internal motivation, but it's coming from an external motivation. So you're just restless, and this is the one that leads to anxiety and things like that. Comparison and overstimulation. You're just seeing people do things, like you just want to do things just like that without following your own path, knowing what you want for yourself and knowing what you should be doing at a particular time. So now let's talk about anxiety and restlessness, right? There's a difference, but see that the difference is very almost unclear. It's because like sometimes they start in the same way or they are triggered by the same things. But anxiety just is tending towards the negative side, like you're feeling you can't do this, you are missing out, you are behind, and all those negative things are just trying to bring you down. But restlessness is like, there's something you can do better, right? You can do better than this, right? This cannot be all. Even though you failed now, there's so much you can do. And statement like this is what like a purpose-driven restlessness sounds like. So restlessness is a gift because like without it, you can settle for mediocrity. You can remain comfortable for too long. You can give up so early. You can also just be very complacent, right? So restlessness is what keeps pushing you, keeps drawing your potential, keeps making you to move. So it's very important in this journey of purpose that you're in a constant state of restlessness. Whether you are achieving or you are failing, that restlessness will always be there because it's trying to tell you that, see, there's something we have to do and we must do it regardless of the wins and the failures that we already have. So thank you so much for watching today's videos. See you tomorrow.